Morning, girls. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie or hurt you. A little bit of Rick Astley. Patsy is a massive Rick Astley fan. Lovely prefers Bananarama, so I'll sing her a Bananarama tomorrow. They love the 80s, don't you, girls? Hello everyone. Let's have a cup of tea. I didn't film anything yesterday. I was so ridiculously busy and I felt all, I don't know, I just didn't know which way to turn and something had to give. And I wanted to feed the children and I wanted the house to be clean and I wanted to do my Advent bears, so I'm afraid that it was the vlog that had to suffer yesterday. You wouldn't want to see me like that. Lizzie even made my bed for me. I think she could see that I was I had a lot on, so yeah, she made my bed for me. Oh, but yeah, it's been better today. I woke up thinking, oh, I've got a lot to do, and I have got a lot to do, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. I think that my mum might be taking the children round hers for tea tomorrow. And then James is going to take the children to a party round his sister's house, a Halloween party. So I am going to power through and finish packaging up all the Advents in the afternoon and the evening tomorrow. And then they'll be able to go to the post office in 2 loads on Saturday and Sunday. Of course, it's going to feel nice when that's done. When I tick them off. Oh, I've posted all my orders today that I got last night. I can't believe how quickly the bags went last night. I really can't. I'd convinced myself that no one was going to like them or want them. So, yeah, I was so surprised really and very happy. I've had quite a few people contact me to say that they've missed out. So I'm going to do another shop update, I think. Hang on, who's this? Hang on. Sorry, that was Meg wondering where Lizzie was gone. Where Lizzie's gone. What was I saying? I'm going to do another shop update in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks yesterday. 2 weeks yesterday. I don't know when that is. Maybe it's the 9th of November. I don't know. And I've ordered some more of the same fabric because I've had a few people contact me to say that they missed out and they'd quite like one. So yeah, I'm gonna get some more because Dennis, stop licking! Can you hear that? I loved using that fabric. Yeah, so I'm gonna use it again. Dennis, don't do that anymore. Poor Lillian was a pain last night as well. I didn't sleep very well. She was jumping on and off the bed and drinking out of her bowl, jumping on me. And then the trouble I've got is when I am nearly asleep, you know when you get that lovely feeling, if anything happens to get me out of that, that's it. I've got to start from the start again. James can close his eyes and start snoring. I cannot do that. I'm going to see if I can get a haircut tomorrow. I don't really like my hair this long. I want it back in the bob. My fringe needs cutting as well. She did it so short last time that I thought it was never ever going to grow. Because it was so short. Oh dear. Johnny's taken his CV down today to some restaurants. 2 of his best friends have got jobs and I think he's seeing now the rewards that they're getting from having a job, and I think he's thinking, oh, I'd like that as well. Dennis, hang on a minute, hang on. He stopped. No, he hasn't. He started again. You'll just have to It's an awful sound, isn't it? When my other dog, Lily, when she licks, she doesn't make that racket. It's like he's putting all of his heart and soul into it. Oh. Oh, hang on. I'm going to stop until he stopped. I think he stopped. I thought he'd stopped last time though, and he hadn't. Oh dear. I'm on the heel of James's sock. Anyway, so Johnny's taking his CV round to some local restaurants. I've been trying to get him to do it for ages, but I think now he's realised that he'll get money, and he's seen his friends spending a bit of money. I think he's realised and thought, oh, yeah, I want a job as well after all. This is lovely. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll just wait until I've done this row. Have you stopped now, darling? Ian has been causing havoc this morning again, chasing after everybody. Lillian's down there and she's still in my bad books after last night. Who else? Doug has found a very, very peculiar place to sleep in the kitchen, on top of like this. I've got this ceramic sort of muffin tray thing, and he's decided that's where he'd like to sleep, so he started curling himself up on that. And then because Ian likes to be very close to him at all times, he sleeps next to him on something equally as weird. Well, at least you're here. If you're here, I can stop you doing it. I think he looks like a Newfoundland, doesn't he, from this angle? Look. He's a Lhasa Apso. I get quite a few people ask me what sort of dogs Dennis and Lillian are. You're Lhasa Apsos, aren't you? Hey? No, I don't know. Right, I was going to show you this. I don't know if you'll be able to see in this light, but it's now starting to, like, all, it's gone from purple to light blue to blue. Now it's going back to purple again. I'm going to put a bit of a pattern in Lizzie's, I think. I've got some World on Saturday, and I've got to make that they're doing a taster. I think I'm going to stay for it. I've been a bit worried. You see, don't judge me, but I like to see people's kitchens before I eat the food that they've prepared. And I also like to see what they've done. Like, have they licked the spoon? So the theme is bonfire night and Halloween, and I was going to make some of my spicy parsnip soup. And I was going to put some of the, come on Dennis, the normal one has got way too much fat in it for us lot in our group, but the reduced fat one, I could get away with that. So I was going to make some of that to take in, but I don't know whether I'm going to stay, because I don't know. I don't want to appear rude. 8:30 is early, isn't it, to be eating big old plates of food anyway? But I do like staying to that group. Anyway, I was looking for my cookery book and I found this. Look how dusty it is. Because I've got a cookery book with the proper recipe in it. It's a Riverford book that I got with the veg box, because I used to get my veg box from Riverford. And this is my diary from 1988, when I was 8. And I love looking through this to see what I was up to. My dad bought me this. So if you look here in January, the pages are quite full, aren't they? But then when you get down to, where are we? I stopped writing in it all together. So this is the 17th of October. Look, I started doing a margin and only writing in the that little bit. Went to school. It is the last day of the term. Found a cat. Had a bath. Went to bed. I wonder if that would have been my cat Richard that I had, my ginger one. My mum found him on a field and just brought him home, and my dad said, I don't want that in our house. And then the next morning he was going, hello my little darling. So this is my mum's writing, because sometimes if I was poorly, my mum or my dad would write in it. Shall we see what she wrote? Got up, I didn't go to school again. Oh yeah, poorly. Took Gary to school, that's my brother. We went shopping and Jean came with us, she was our neighbour. I watched Story Time, Play School, Spot and Rainbow. Do you remember TV when you were off sick? I remember watching, although obviously I didn't watch it on this day, it was like a market stall with two puppets on, and I think they were called Elmo and Dibs. Cosmo and Dibs, that's it. And one of them used to talk like this. Do you remember that? What was it? Was it Me and You? Me and you, you and me. And then Pigeon Street was on as well. There were only a couple of programmes on at lunchtime, because it wasn't like nowadays where you get kids' TV all day. It was like for like a little while in the afternoon, and then from about 3 o'clock until 5:35 when Neighbours came on. And then that would be it for kids' TV. And it'd be news round, and then something like Grange Hill, like some sort of teenage thing. Grandad looked after me in the afternoon, because that's the old Grandad, because Mum went up the school to the Mother's Day service. I took a toffee apple with me round Grandpa's, and Andy came to see him, that's my uncle. For dinner I had a ham roll and pizza things, and for tea I had cheeseburger and chips. Well, I can't have been that ill. I had a bath and went to bed. Mum filled this in because I am so tired. What was wrong with me? I used to get a lot of earaches in those days. I had glue ear, and I used to have to get grommets put in quite a lot. I recently found out, well not recently, but the main cause of glue ear is passive smoking, and my dad used to smoke like a trooper. He doesn't anymore, and he's got really judgmental about smokers as well. Does anyone remember, just looking through this, it just brings back loads of memories. In the 80s, I think it was either before Neighbours or after Neighbours, the lunchtime edition of Neighbours on BBC. There used to be a programme called Going for Gold. Does anyone remember that? Going for gold, the heat is on, the time is right, it's time for you to maybe play your game, 'cause people are coming, everyone's trying to do the best that they can when they're going for gold. And Henry Kelly used to come out and present it. That was good, that was. Actually, I don't really know what happened in it, but I remember the theme tune. I think it must have been after Neighbours, because the news was before Neighbours, because Neighbours used to come on twice a day on BBC. Once after the news, and then before the news at 6 o'clock. Oh, I found out what was wrong with me. Today I did not go to school because I had the measles. So that would have been probably the German measles. Yes. I remember my neighbour had it, and I went and did Lego with him, and then I got it. Took Gary to school, went home with Mum and made a den out of a mat and 2 towels, 1 tea cloth and a nightgown. That sounds like a good old den, doesn't it? I had my Lights Alive for a light. Do you remember Lights Alive? It was like this big sort of rainbow panel with a thing that went over the top, and it was lights, and you used to press through the different lights to make, they were like tiny little circles, and when you press one of them down, oh, that would have been a good den. I used the first towel for the roof and the second for the cover of my bed. I watched telly. I watched Story Time. You and Me! It was You and Me. All Sorts, Play School, Words and Pictures, Picked up Gary. Should she have been taking me up to school with measles? People didn't care in those days, though, did they? Went home, watched telly, had tea, had a bath, went to bed. Now, I had a question the other day about dinner and tea. So I say breakfast, dinner and tea. I think it's just a regional thing, because I know a lot of people say lunch, but I don't. I say tea. I made another den the next day. I watched Puddle Lane. Oh, that was good. Play school, spot the dog. Then I decided to make a bed instead of a den. I made my bed out of a cover, 6 cushions and a mat. That sounds good. She was carting me all over the place. Isn't it funny nowadays, if your children have anything, you have to keep them locked up? But it was obviously all right in those days to take me about. Oh, it was Mother's Day. My mum has written, look, because it says there, Mother's Day. Can you see it? My mum has written, I can't wait till. And I've written, by my mum. Got up and gave my mum her Mother's Day present and card. I bought her some flowers in a basket. Gary bought her some Terry's Moonlight chocolates and some pretend roses and a card. I went down Nana Cindy's, so that was my mum's mum, and we called her Cindy because she had a dog called Cindy, Nana Cindy. We had another Nan who was the really old Nan, and I used to call her Nana Polo because she used to give me a polo, obviously. I don't know why to think about that. And then I had Nana Wiggles, and her last name was Williams, so I used to call her Wiggles. Went down Nana Cindy's and Gary had some sweets. Went home, went out with Dad, had a bath, went to bed. So obviously they were not incubating me. I like the way that my dad, this is my dad's writing here, he's written the spellings that I've misspelt, because I used to leave this on the end of my bed for him to read every night. I love looking at this. We'll do one more day. January the 11th. Oh, that's a school day. Oh. Friday the 15th. Went to school. We worked at some pigeons. The school went swimming. I had to stay at school. See, because I had the grommets, I wasn't allowed to go swimming. Doing 360, putting up the tables and playing with the little ones. I was the only one in my year group that didn't get to go swimming. Then the school came back and we had dinner. I had cheese sandwiches, salt and vinegar crisps and a donut. Well, that sounds all right. Then we had outdoor, we went outside to play. When we came in, we did paper mache. Went home, we watched telly, watched Raggy Doll's 5-Minute Wonder Survival Challenge, and they then made some wrapping paper. Then we watched Neighbours, which I've spelled Nabbors. Then we had a bath and went to bed. Oh, hang on, James is calling me. He was seeing if I got some coffee. I did not, so he's got some. He's on his walk with Lizzie. It's another one by my mum. I'm sorry if you find this boring. Today I'm tired, so Mum is writing this. Today is Nana's birthday. I bought her some bubble bath and Gary got her some fruit. I went to school and made a passport for my Humpty Dumpty, and for dinner I had jam sandwiches, crisps, mousse, and I know what sort of mousse that was. Do you remember the mousses that you used to get in the freezer? And they were like in a bag, and like loads of them, and it like had a tie top and it had like a cardboard lid, sort of like the ice cream you can get at the cinema, but it was a mousse. Oh, I love those. Jam sandwich, crisps, mousse, iced bun and an apple. When I got home from school, I played with Mary Ann, she was my friend. Then I had my tea. Then looked at Neighbours, had my supper, because I used to get supper in those days, used to have a bit of toast before I went to bed, don't get that anymore. On telly, I watched Bless This House. Night night, everybody. I remember my mum writing one note when I was she was fed up with me. Well, for that night for tea, I had chicken, potatoes, Yorkshire pud, and then I had strawberry blancmange for afters. Oh, I had to go to the hospital that day to have my ears checked. This is half term. Oh, I went in the body shop this day. I don't know if they still do it. Do you remember that? And I remember this so clearly. We went to this sort of hairdressing warehouse and I bought this great big sort of thing that rolled out, a bit like a crochet hook roll, but it was full of hairbrushes and combs and all that sort of stuff. And then we went to the body shop, because there wasn't a body shop in my town then, and I bought some banana soap, and it was the shape of a banana, and I can still remember what it smelled like. I would just like seeing what I used to have for tea in these days. Quite Yorkshire pudding again on the Sunday. This is my mum's writing again. Today I went back to school. Where have I been? I might have had one of my operations on my ears when I had the grommets put in. Today I went back to school. I took my dinner. I had crisps, sandwiches, donut and an apple. People would frown on that these days, wouldn't they, if they saw a kid with a donut in their lunchbox. I'm alright. When I got home, I played with Lisa and Leanne and we put the party dresses on. Because I've been bridesmaid so many times, I had loads of bridesmaids dresses, so me and my friends used to dress up in them all the time. Dad has gone to get some chips. Mum wrote this quickly, so please excuse the writing. Nighty night, everybody. We always used to go for a ride on a Sunday. Did you used to go for a ride? Oh dear. Went to school. Gary went to the hospital about his ears. He hasn't got to go anymore. So he had bad ears as well because of that smoking. We used to sit in the car with the windows done up. My dad would smoke about 60 superkins on the way to town. The doctor came to see Dad because he's got the flu. He must have been ill. My dad never used to go to bed. I didn't go to school. I had a bottle of Lucozade and some mints. I didn't have any dinner. What is wrong with me? Ooh, maybe I caught the flu off my dad. I want to find that page where oh, this is a good day. Went to school, played with Heidi Royal and Lisa Robinson. We did country dancing in middle play. At night, me and Mum went to bingo. We didn't win anything. I didn't go to bed before 11:15. You've got to remember I was only 8. That was late. I want to find the bit where my mum got really fed up with me, because I remember her writing something like, if she doesn't go to bed now. Oh, I've got chickenpox here. Today I have the chickenpox, spelt P-O-C-K-S. Went uptown. Wouldn't do that these days, would you? I had some sweets, went home, watched telly, went to bed. This is when the old big margins are kicking in. Been to another barbecue. See, they were carting me about all over the place. Oh, here we are. Now, remember, it is the 80s. Went to school. We went swimming. So I wrote that bit. And then my mum takes over. I'm in a bad mood, in fact a very bad mood, so I think I'd better go to bed before I get a slap off Mum. Good night. And the next day I woke up with a chickenpox, so maybe that was what was wrong with me. Poor old thing. Right, I think that's enough. Haven't been going on for ages. Got some medicine for my spots because they were very, very sore. Went to Tesco, I bought kiwi fruit and 2 plums. Lizzie's birthday, the 25th of May. Isn't it funny? Leanne come round for me to play when I'd not yet even had a bath. Mum and Dad have gone out, so Nan is looking after us. I think I've told you, haven't I, that the old Nan lives next door but one. So she was not about a lot. Oh, I do like it when it's a bit more detailed. When would have Easter been in these days? Let's have a look, because I'd like to see. Because I remember one Easter, my dad, he came home on the Saturday night because he used to play cricket. And he said he had 2 surprises for me. The first surprise was not a good surprise. He, sorry, I was just reading. I can see where I caught the bloody measles here, sorry. Where I caught the measles, because I was allowed to go and play with a neighbour, but that's what you did, so you got it out of the way. Yeah, he said he had 2 surprises for me. The first surprise was not so much of a surprise. He'd finished my jigsaw, which I'd been trying to do for days. Here we are, I found Easter. And it was a jigsaw of 2 seals, a mum and a baby seal together. He'd finished that, and the other surprise was he'd won the biggest Easter egg ever, and it was decorated in loads and loads and loads of they weren't fondant sweets, because fondant icing wasn't really about in those days. They were like sugar flowers, like sort of made out of royal icing. They were so nice. I can still taste them in my head. Ooh. Got up, had breakfast. After breakfast I had half of my Rose's Easter egg. I had a bath and a hair wash. I dried my hair and Gary's hair, and I made him look like a punk. Oh. Cool, this was a good day. This is Easter Monday. Didn't go to school again, got up, had a bath, went to a park. When I got home, I played with my Cabbage Patch Kids. Then Mary Ann came round. We are making models, or trying to. We dressed up in some long pink, blue, brown and peach dresses. I had the pink and the peach, and Mary Ann had the others. Mary Ann went home, had tea, had a bath, went to bed. It's lovely, isn't it? Right, I'm going to go. Oh, yeah, so I've got to make a decision about this soup. Am I going to make it? Am I going to stay? I do like staying, but I think it's going to be a bit different this week, because I like going around the group, because I don't know, I like hearing what everybody says. There's one lady, she said she can't stop eating panna cottas. I don't think I've ever tried a panna cotta. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to carry on with this sock. Oh, I've got to go in my Etsy shop actually and mark all my parcels as dispatched. Rightio, sorry about that. A trip down memory lane into the 80s. When parents used to smoke around their children and let you go out when you had not serious illnesses, but contagious illnesses. Oh Didn't do us any harm, did it? I bought a new candle, that's what I'm looking at. Right, anyway, sorry about that, but I thought you might like a look into the head of 8-year-old Paula. I did. I'm going to keep reading it actually, but I'm not going to read it to you. Right, you don't want to get out my diaries from me. Or from my, it goes from, I think from about the age of 19 upwards I kept diaries. I'm not reading you them. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.